Oos. All right, so today's video is about Andrew Tate. Now, we're not going to discuss the morality or the ideals of Andrew Tate, but rather his boxing ability. There were some talks about him fighting. You know, Logan said no because he didn't want to platform him, which is a little bit ironic coming from Logan.
I don't feel like platforming this guy. I don't feel like giving him the blessing of being my dance partner in the ring.
But needless to say, he is on the map when it comes to YouTube boxing. We recently did a tier list on the breakdown with your boy Wade, and we put him on right below contender. We want to put him at top. I forget what it was considered, like Let's Go Champ or something like that. But he hasn't fought in the YouTube scene yet, hasn't fought in a while.
Being in those talks, he's at least contender, and I think that's where we'll stick him because there's a lot of questions, you know, like
even though he's a 4-time kickboxing champion. But Jake has shown us that even if you are a former world champion, you can catch these hands. However, Tate is a striking champion, but I wanted to look at his sparring. I haven't reacted to his sparring footage. His style is unique. What's his background? Is it karate, taekwondo, or is it Muay Thai? Does he have a boxing background? And how does that play into him being a crossover boxer? He was sparring a guy named Marcel. I'm not sure who that is. I also found some other sparring footage. It wasn't a boxing gym, so again, we're not going to get too much of a look because it's not in a boxing gym, but they're throwing real punches at each other. Okay, now when watching this back, Marcel was quite smaller, shorter, strong guy, but the technique wasn't there. You weren't seeing a lot of things, but let's just look at a couple things here. Let's focus on Mr. Tate. Again, body shot. Seemed like he was being nice here. Hard jab, but again, not much of an opponent. Walking at him. Big lean back. So this is one of the things that we notice. Even in Tate's fights, he stands super tall. It's beneficial at times in kickboxing because you can pick up your leg quickly to check kicks and to kick back. So you don't see typically a wider stance when it comes to kickboxing for, like I said, checking kicks and to be able to return kicks quickly. You want to get your foot off the ground. And if you have a wide stance, it's hard to get your leg in the air. It's better for moving, but harder for effective kicking. So that's something that's not great in his favor, but it's a part of his style. So you see here, since he's taller, big lean back, great timing to shoot that right hand and counter, but super off balance. A nice knockdown, nice little pull counter. Again, you look at the reach here, the reach advantage. Like this angle here is crazy, right? And the arm length, right? Big pull, right hand. So again, it's not against somebody his size. So, but you can see that stylistically, this is what he wants to do. He wants to evade and counter and stay on the outside. Ripping the body shots. You see he has power. But yeah, there's not much coming back here. But you can see like the little things, the little nuances in here. You can tell he's actually being nice here. It seems like he could have gone a little bit harder, but he wasn't. But right here, you see I think I'm going for a little further back. Like he throws the body shot, but this right here, you see like standing up straight, and then his head is up, you know, and his hand super low for a body shot, like no level change, right? You're not going to see that any level changes. He throws to the body, but then he comes back up, looks down for a moment, and then shoots the left hand up high. But again, when it comes to the strength of your opponent, not much of a response there. Switches stances. I don't know if a big thing here that's an advantage, I think, for Tate is that he switches stances a lot, and he's fluid when he switches from using his lead hand to his right hand. But so you see here, left hook lands as a lead. As Marcel rolls here, he just immediately switches stances and then uses a left rear hook. But it's very natural for him to switch stances, and that can pose a problem for us, you know, influencer boxers with less experience in there, in the exchanges of exiting exchanges, and you're versing a sparring partner who isn't switching as much, and you can get caught on the exit of exchanges because, like here, as soon as he shot that left hand, he rolled out instead of trying to chase on the outside or like turn the corner and stay in orthodox, or stay in southpaw. Actually, no, in orthodox, he just naturally switches to southpaw and is able to land that left hand. Hurt him pretty bad. Now let's look here. It says sparring session in a karate dojo. They're barefoot, so you're going to get some kickboxing, right? You can see they're wearing shin guards here, so I'm assuming they did, but this is just boxing only. They only punched. That's why I wanted to use it, because if you're doing kickboxing, I know anyone could say, well, it's not the same thing. You expect some difference, but here they are, boxing only. You see more of a boxing stance from his opponent, but let's see here. We got a nice little Philly shell. Now, this is something that I expect to see more of from Tate because he's so tall and he likes to keep his hands down because of that eye injury that he talks about.
The main reason I don't fight with my hands up is because I have very bad eyes. And even if I take a punch on the gloves, it damages my eyes. I had surgery on my eyes. My retina's detached many times. I have bad eyes.
I expect to see more of a Philly shell, and he's a pretty big dude, so that's going to be beneficial if he's taller. But again, a big pull right hand. If you look here, pull right hand. Again, he's in orthodox. The tiny shuffle here quickly switches, just very fluid switches now, and then fires like a check hook. It doesn't land, but see how natural he is at switching? This is what can pose a problem, and this is where his kickboxing and his fighting attributes, where you may think, listen, Tate can't box, right? Look at his head's way up, his hands are down. This is something that is, I think, like a secret weapon for Tate. Again, switches stances, super subtle. I don't think he feels threatened by his opponent, but this is a cause for concern here. You see, you have this tight exchange. His feet are tall. He's standing up tall, that is. And then he does this, and then this lunge, right? His feet are close together. His head is down. He's throwing a body hook, and he's just completely exposing his head. And again, it's not just something he's doing in this sparring match. We've seen that before. So this is the stuff where I would see that like a Jake Paul, Logan Paul would take advantage of, or KSI that they could take advantage of. Again, you're not seeing a lot of movement. Again, but he doesn't feel threatened by his opponent, so it's different. I can imagine it'd be different when he's threatened. But I've seen, if you look at kickboxing matches, I'll try to find a clip here, in like his actual professional kickboxing matches, he doesn't look like he's being threatened at all. Even though he's been hit a couple times, he got rocked, even knocked down, he continues to fight at this pace, and he just seems super available for me. And he keeps his hands low by his chest a lot, even when he's in close. Trying to draw. But it's things like this. When he pauses and then he starts to walk. He walks forward. And his hands are way down. And he's super close. And those exchanges are happening with that left hand down. Like it doesn't need to be down. And he doesn't look super explosive and quick on his feet. Now, if he was doing that, then I can say, okay, he can get out of range. You see like a Wonder Boy or like Izzy Adesanya, when he's moving in and out, he's staying at range because he's using his footwork. But I know Tate has footwork, right? So I know he does have it. He may be using it as a draw to counter here. But if he decides to fight like that, all it takes is one shot, especially when the guy is the same size as you. I'm imagining this guy being like Logan Paul or Jake, right? And all we know it does take one shot. We know they both have that kind of power. That's the thing. Tate is not going to be trigger shy or afraid to throw punches. If he lands and he smells blood, you're going to get taken out. Again, see this right here. This is where I think he's going to have his success. If you notice, look at the stance. Orthodox. Lands a combination. Pushes. Right, resets. Boom, naturally. As he lands that left hook, he's already throwing his right from switching. And if you're covering your head down, your useless shots are coming from certain angles, this is where it gets dangerous because he can finish anybody because now he lands that beautiful combination because he switched stances and he's not ready for those shots to come from those different angles when the stance switches. But he's very fluid at switching stances. Very fluid. Okay, he switches stances often. See, you can tell right here. You can see this reaction. You can see this reaction because he's here. Now he's jabbing with the right hand. He's coming in southpaw. Check hook. Switches. Jab's coming from that side now. Body hook. They reset. Now he's this guy trying to figure out his southpaw. Okay, now he's back. No, he's orthodox. Now he's coming back to southpaw because the other guy is. He switched again there. Very subtle. Now that's the lead right hook coming to the body. And then the right hook comes to the head. Now he's lost. Boom, there's left hook. Another combination. Now he switches. Boom, right back to orthodox. He's off angle. Now he's more bouncy. See, this is the cut right here. This is the Tate that I think we all need to be worried about because you see some of the footage and some of the sparring stuff, the little clips, and you're like, oh, his head's way up. You see where he's got in trouble. He got knocked down, and he's walking around. But this kind of Tate that is bouncing around, moving in and out, he's got years of footwork, of staying on his toes and using athletic and agile, type footwork. This is where it gets scary because, again, switch stances, combination. beautiful body shot. And it looks like this is not difficult here. Again, strength of opponent, of course, we're talking about, but we see the things that we know would have a lot of trouble. If you look closely and you read between the lines, you're going to see some things that are going to give like a KSI, Logan, Jake a lot of trouble. He doesn't have the ideal skill set and style. However, to me, that poses even more of a tricky problem, you know, for guys like Logan or Jake or even KSI, because they're going to be training. They've been training boxing, sparring against boxers, right? And against people who haven't done much boxing. I just think that he's against a Logan, against a Jake, against a KSI, unless they land something to hurt him and make Tate go, you know, I'm going to cover my eye. If they're going to try to go toe-to-toe, skill, and just out and box, I think they have a hard time. And I think when it comes to the sparring, I think you're seeing a very lower level version of Tate. Honestly, didn't notice how often he switches stances, because even the high level fighters don't do it all the time. Even kickboxers, right? They have their stance, but he switched often in these little sparring matches here. It's hard to replicate that in the gym, especially with a guy that size, because guys that size typically rely on like power. They have their power shots, you know, their big right hand that they're trying to land, or their big power shot they're trying to land. Whereas Tate here is using volume and angles and setups to land his shots. So unless they catch him early, I think, or hurt Tate and make him uncomfortable, if he gets into a rhythm, you're just going to be living in his world. So there it is, man. That's a fun one. I really hope Tate gets the fight, because I think it would be huge for the YouTube space and just this whole YouTube boxing scene. It would be awesome. He's an influencer. He's a fighter. He's controversial. It's perfect. You know, he's someone that this scene needs to, and I think, to propel it to that crazy level, because I think his fight would go down as one of the bigger fights, just in terms of just the casual fan and everyday viewers, because people who are fans of Andrew Tate has nothing to do with our YouTube community. So to me, it's a must fight happen. He's super dangerous, and I would pay my hard-earned money to watch that. Now, next video, I'm probably going to record this tonight, is Deji sparring. And he also just said that he wants to go for the kill. He's going for the kill against Floyd Mayweather. He does not want to just survive.
I'm going for the kill. Obviously, I'm going to show my respects and everything. I'm not going there to essentially survive. I'm coming there to fight. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'm never going to get this again.
A little shot at Logan there. I haven't talked to him about that. I did ask Deji for a prediction before, but I guess I just got it right now. We're going to talk about that and go over his sparring and see if he does go for the kill, what I think he needs to do, or what his best chance is at landing that shot, landing that punch, and coming out with the victory. All right? Leave a like and subscribe. Oos.